Good afternoon, family. My subject for today is stepping out of your comfort zone. When I think of my comfort zone, I think of warm, fuzzy socks, my favorite sweatpants, a t shirt, and a nice fuzzy blanket. My bed, and either a good book or a lifetime movie. But in order to move out your comfort zone, your comfort has to become uncomfortable. For instance, imagine me in my comfortable outfit at the beach in 90-degree weather in the hot sand. My comfort would become uncomfortable. I would need to change. Just an example of how my comfort would make me uncomfortable and I need to change. As many of you know, I worked at Family Dollar for about 10 years. 3 different stores. I started off part-time, barely making maybe $200 a week, every 2 weeks. But it was a job. I didn't have a job because I had Marvin, and I just needed something as income. So when I started the job, I learned I would be an assistant manager, so that was cool. I'd never done that before. I was very excited, but as I say, it wasn't the greatest job. First store ended up closing down. They sent us to other stores. Second store, that's a whole nother tape. Third store was on the south end of Greenwood. In the hood, crazies, people always stealing, but it paid more than the other 2 stores did. So I was happy. I was excited. When they moved me up to $12. I thought that was big money. I was happy at first when I first started at South Main because it was better money than I had been making. I was making more money than I was originally. I had more responsibilities. I learned a whole lot more. I got to work with old friends that I had known forever. So I was really excited. But then it started to get, the first year I was down there, I got a raise. Super excited. The second year, I did all this extra work. I got a raise last year. I'm gonna get it. We didn't get a raise. The third year, we didn't get a raise. The fourth year, I had determined in my head, Lord, if I don't get a raise this year, I'm doing all this extra work. I've got to start looking for other jobs. So I did. I started looking for other jobs. I was interviewed for TJ Maxx, offered a management position, but due to the way I work, I couldn't take it. I was interviewed at Children's Place, offered a management position. Due to the way I work, I couldn't take it. And I was like, Lord, why am I offered these awesome jobs and you're not lining it up for me to take it? So finally, I was riding down the bypass one day and I saw this construction area on the side across from the mall. And I said, I don't know where that is, but I'm gonna apply there. It's something new to Greenwood. Maybe it'll give me a fresh start. I was coming home after church. So I went home that day, went online, looked up the place, applied there. Had no idea. They could have sold shoes. All I knew is I needed another job. And I was so excited when I filled out for it. Had no idea the pay or anything like that. And pretty much forgot about it. So at the same time, I filled out for Walmart. Got a call back from Walmart, had an interview, job offer. I was this close from taking the job. When I went to sign my papers to start, the guy tells me, oh, the position that we offered you, we just filled. We just gave to somebody else. Now, mind you, before they called me to come in to fill out my paperwork, they told me, we're gonna have you third shift doing layouts and planograms. Unless you work in retail, you wouldn't know what all that means. But anyway, and I was really excited because third shift made an extra dollar because you're working overnight. I went in for my interview. I'm sorry. I went in to fill out my paperwork, get my orientation start date, and they tell me, oh, the lady that just left, we hired her for that position. But we can offer you photography for $9 an hour. And I was thinking, I'm already making 12. Why would I step down to 9 just to leave this job? And by this time, I really, truly hated the job. But I was like, should I take it? I came home, talked to Rico about it. He was like, no, we're not doing this. You're not stepping down. The Lord will put something else in your path. So this is about 6 months since I had filled out this application for the new job, the new place, the new thing that's coming to Greenwood. So one day, after an extremely stressful day at work, we had thieves, people didn't want to do what they're supposed to do. I'm doing 2 or 3 other people's job. I'm pulling a 12-hour shift. I had to go to the bank. And I was frustrated because I hated to stop my work and go to the bank. Anyway, I'm pissed off at everybody. I'm mad. I go get in my car and I pick up my phone and there's a voicemail on there. And there's this really tiny voice. I have the voicemail still saved to my phone and it says, "Hi Janaya, this is Lakeisha Gilchrist from Lido Corporation. We're calling to offer you a job." I'm screaming, going ecstatic in my car like, oh my God, I don't even know what the job is yet. But I'm just like going crazy. Anyway, long story short, I applied for the interview, went to the interview. I get to the interview. Everybody's in there is in like sweatpants, tennis shoes, and I'm dressed to the nines. I was always told you I was dressed up for your interview. Dressed to the nines. The lady comes out to get me. This beautiful, little, tiny black woman. Little powerhouse that I learned later. She said, "Hi, I'm Lakeisha. I'm the district manager for this area, and I'll be doing your interview." I was like, oh my God. Oh, one thing I forgot to say. Before she came out to get me, I looked at on the table where they had the information about the job, and it said, this is a store supervisor position, and the starting pay is $16.50 an hour. In my head, I'm like, I'm not getting this job, but you know what? I'm still interviewing. I'm still going in here. I'm going to do my best. I'm going to wow these people. I go into my interview. The woman, this powerhouse I just met, I'm so impressed with her. She tells me she speaks 3 different languages. The whole time I'm interviewing with her, she has this poker face on. So I was like, I'm still going to try to be the best person. I'm still going to try to get this job. And $16.50 an hour, she asked me to dance on this table right now. I'm going to do it. But anyway, not literally. Had my interview, went home that day. I was like, I don't even know how it went. Rico asked me when I got home, he was like, how was your interview? I was like, I don't know, because she never smiled. She never said anything. She shook my hand when I left. But back to work I went at Family Dollar. June 26, 2017. A date besides June 29th, 2019, I will never forget. It was my orientation in Aiken, South Carolina for Lido, US. I was nervous. We had to be there at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's an hour and a half away. I was like, see how this goes. Go into orientation and I'm sitting there and I'm amongst all these people. None of these people I can relate to. None of these people look like me. There was white, black, Hispanic. I mean, they had people from all over. And this little powerhouse, I remember her. I see her across the room and she walks up to me. She reaches out her hand with a big smile and she says, "Hey, Janaya, how are you?" And I'm looking at her, and I literally said to her out loud, "You remember my name?" So then I knew that God was moving me out of my comfort. I knew this day, this company, I'm going to grow with. Fast forward 2 years later, I'm getting ready to go out on leave. I had to have some surgery done. And I get called into the manager's office. I know my manager, who's trained me and taught me everything, was leaving to move to another store. And they called me to the manager's office, and I'm like, oh my God, here, what's going on? But they tell me, we want you to apply for the assistant manager position and go into training immediately as soon as you come back from leave. Look at God. And I didn't even know how much it paid at the time, but I was just so excited. It's like, God, when you take me out my comfort, you snatched me up out of there, and you just keep on rearranging to where I'm looking back now like, Lord, how long I worked at this other job, and I hated it. I hated going to work every day. I hated being bothered with these people. It was in the hood. It was ghetto. There's nothing wrong with the hood or the ghetto, but I was so tired of it. And one day after church, God had already started to shift the atmosphere for me. I just had to take that step of faith and step out. Family, sometimes God has to shift your comfort zone. He makes it become painful, intolerable, unbearable. He has to make you so uncomfortable that you are just like, Lord God, I'm ready. What was once a bed of roses will become dry leaves and thorns. Their expressions out now, you will be like, I hate it here. You know, we get so, I don't want to keep saying comfort zone, but complacent. God already knows the place that he has for you. Like that day in my car listening to that voicemail, I had no idea of the shoes I was getting ready to step in. I knew I was tired of the shoes I was already walking in. I mean, you know, if we knew the magnitude of the blessings that God had in store for us, our comfort zone would look like crap zone. If you knew the things that God had in store for you, you wouldn't even think twice. You wouldn't be so complacent. You wouldn't get so comfortable. You would just keep reaching. And so I encourage you all today to, even though it seems comfort, the job offers me 40 hours, this car is reliable, it's paid for, I can apply for this school, but this one is easier to get into. I mean, whatever it is that seems unreachable, reach for it. Because if you've prayed, if you ask God to change your position, though it may not happen right at that time, God is already moving to adjust your position. I am the worst at procrastination. I'm always afraid that I'm not good enough, I'm not strong enough, that I should just be comfortable where I'm at. But in order for me to step into this position that I'm in now, and with a lot of encouragement from Rico, I had to say, and my kids, that my kids are recording, they said, and my kids. I had to say, I am good enough. I am strong enough. I can do this. Now, I'm speaking on a job experience, but what are you holding on to today? Whatever it is, just know if it's starting to become uncomfortable, maybe God has you a new comfort zone. And if he has you a new comfort zone, he's got another comfort zone and another comfort zone. If we knew the magnitude of what God has in store for us, every time that little feeling would come over, like, Lord God, what are you trying to tell me? We be dancing, shouting, singing. If we knew what he was going to do. But with stepping out your comfort zone, have faith. God will do some awesome things for you. Thank you all for listening to me. I hope it wasn't too long. Oh, did I say my new position is I am the assistant manager at Lita Greenwood. I don't know if I added that part. I appreciate you all for the encouragement, whether you know it or not, down through the years. And I love you all. Have a great Sunday.